Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series in the brand new Player's Handbook, talking about the character creation options within. We've already talked about backgrounds and how they've been utterly transformed since the early days of 5th edition, and we're carrying on with the species. What type of creature are you playing as? Today we're talking about one of the oldest and greatest fantasy tropes out there, the elves. Elves have been around in literature for hundreds of years, and incorporating them into the D&D world is as seamless as putting humans and dwarves in there. They are one of the all-time classics and an all-time favorite of mine. I am definitely a big elf fan. But how do the elves stack up? Because we have been simplifying the species compared to the old races of 2014, we've actually stripped away a lot of the features. We've taken their ability score increases out of the picture, and we don't even have extensive sub-races. Now, we just have the elf and some lineages that go in there, which encompass the common types of elf we can talk about. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get into the details in just a moment. Before we do, I'd like to let you know, Relax Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But also you get early access to my videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. If that interests you, you can click the join button just down there next to the subscribe button. I'd love to see you in the comments with your member badges. And if it doesn't interest you, that's totally fine too. Just being here, listening to what I have to say on D&D, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff, that's the best way to support me. And I'm really, really genuinely thankful that you're here. So thank you for watching my content here on YouTube. So elves begin as medium-sized humanoid creatures. Being medium-sized, I think, is a slight boon over your small-sized friends. That's not a big difference. There's a couple niche things that medium-sized can do that small can't. I think that being medium, though, is the slight advantage, and I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. You also have a standard 30-foot movement speed. Nothing wrong with that. That's 9 out of 10. And then you have dark vision, because most people have dark vision nowadays. This gives you your standard 60-foot range of dark vision. Anyone who doesn't have dark vision wishes they did, and I gotta give it 10 out of 10 when it shows up, so yeah. You also have Fey Ancestry. This grants you advantage against being charmed, or avoiding the charmed condition altogether. The charm condition isn't a super common condition, it's just really debilitating when it comes up. Stops you from attacking people and gives them advantage on their charisma checks against you. It's, pretty rough, but you just have advantage against it, and I think that's solid. It's not going to happen all the time. It's going to happen against specific kinds of enemies. So I'm going to say 8 out of 10 for that. You also have the Keen Senses power. This used to grant you Perception as an automatic skill. You can now choose Perception, or Insight or Survival. This is nice because the backgrounds give you set abilities that you can have proficiency in. And if your background grants you Perception, then your race, your elf and species would give you nothing. So it's nice to give you options. I'm still probably going to be taking Perception, though, because it's still one of the most broken skills that is necessary in the game. So yeah, having Perception is great. Having Insight and Survival as backups is fine. I still say this is 10 out of 10. And then there is your Trance power. You can finish a long rest in 4 hours, during which time you are meditating and you remain conscious, and you're immune to sleep. Magic can't put you to sleep, you never sleep. It's cool that this doesn't say that you remain semi-conscious. It used to be that you were in a trance and you could only kind of see what was around you, leaving a lot of room for interpretation on whether or not you could effectively stand watch. Now it's clear. You are conscious, which means that you can see your surroundings. Yes, you're meditating, but you're still paying attention to what's around you, meaning that an elf in the party works as a great watchman in the middle of the night when you're camping. Not to mention, a 4 hour long rest gives you more time to do other things, and it gives you a little more downtime every day. So I'm going to say this is 9 out of 10. Mechanically sound and very convenient. Then finally, you have the elven lineages, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Instead of having separate sections for every single elf subrace, now you just have 3 little lines in a table saying if you want to be a drow elf, a high elf, or a wood elf, you get a little bit of a different thing. All of them get a cantrip and a first and second level spell at appropriate levels, and then one little extra thing. So the drow, for example, if you're a dark elf, you now can see in 120 feet of darkness instead of 60, so it extends your dark vision. That's really nice tactically. It also grants you the Dancing Lights cantrip, which is fine. And then at level 3, you get Fairy Fire, an amazing spell, and at level 5, you get Darkness, which is a decent spell too. If you're the High Elf, on the other hand, you're granted the Prestidigitation cantrip, which is fine, it's a good spell. But then when you long rest, you can switch it for another spell on the wizard's cantrip list, which is fantastic. Yeah, I'm sure gonna like Prestidigitation, but I also like Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Firebolt, Toll the Dead, True Strike. There's a lot of cool cantrips, and being able to swap them on the go is incredible. You also get Detect Magic at level 3, and Misty Step at level 5. Again, a decent spell and an amazing one. Finally, as the Wood Elf, you get a speed boost. Your speed is boosted to 35 feet, and that 5 feet makes a difference. Don't downsize speed boosts, because that is something that is really, really handy. You also gain Druid Craft, which is an okay cantrip. And then you have Longstrider at level 3, boosting your speed again, and Pass Without Trace at level 5. An amazing stealth spell that is honestly unparalleled in its power. So with every single lineage, you've got yourself a decent cantrip, or a really good one in the case of the High Elf, a good first or second level spell, and a decent first or second level spell. And you can cast it for free once per day, and you choose your spellcasting ability, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma, so it doesn't limit you in that respect. All in all, the elven lineages earn 10 out of 10 from me. You're always going to be getting something powerful, you're always going to be getting something versatile, and you're always going to be getting, like, regardless of what lineage you choose, you're not going to be disappointed. It plays into the role perfectly. All in all, the elf earns a 9 out of 10 from me. This might surprise you, because I gave the dwarves 10 out of 10. I also like dwarves. But I think that the lineages and the senses, the abilities that you get, are solid. There's nothing wrong with them at all. I think that the trance has been improved. I think that the charmed condition resistance is good. I just think that there's a couple little things in here that aren't quite as good as they could have been. I mean, yes, sure, we could have given them more powerful spells or more powerful passive features from their lineage. They could have been immune to the charm condition, which would be a little bit broken. That's the thing here. 10 out of 10 to me says that a species has really gone to the edge of power and is now as strong as they need to be. There's no room to improve, whereas the elves actually have a good amount of variance. And, some strong, some okay, some really powerful features. I think 9 out of 10 is a good ranking. I think that it falls right in that sweet spot where it's an appealing species to play, but it isn't a must-take. It's not like you always are going to want to play elves. I think that 9 out of 10 is exactly where I want my elves, and I'm very, very pleased with this brand new version. It's simple, it's solid, and I highly recommend them. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more species reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.